What's up, guys? It's going to be a video on the equipment and tools I use. We'll wait for some people to get in here. This one I'm going to roll either way. If we don't get any live people, I'm going to just do the video and you guys can check it out anytime. But we're going to start here with my tank controller and my food and utensils and stuff. So I got various tools here that I use. I don't use them all, but these are all the scissors I've bought over the past year. The ones in the front I just got, those are pretty handy. They're a little large to maneuver in the tank, but I think I'll get used to them. It's gonna really depend on what part of the tank I'm trying to cut, where it makes the most sense. But there's various scissors there, and there's also tweezers, bent tweezers and straight tweezers. Those work really good for planting, because normally you try to bury a plant by hand, and if you have big hands like me, it can be rather difficult. And if you have a good hold of the plant with a good pair of tongs, you can really bury the plant down into the substrate, and it's going to be a lot easier to slide those tweezers out than it's going to be your fingers. So that's really it with tools. As far as trimming and planting goes, food wise, I try to mix it up. I use a New Line Spectrum flake and a little bead pellet, I guess you'd call it, and also dried bloodworms, and I do frozen bloodworms once in a while. The only other thing I have up here is tap water conditioner. I use that quite a bit because I have a little bit of chlorine in my water, because I do have city water. So I don't know, tank controller wise, it's pretty simple. I don't use it a whole lot, it's just there. We're gonna focus in here a little bit. You can see it's reading 482. That's the ORP part of the controller. So basically that is an ORP reading, and that's, I don't know, I don't have any issue with it being that high. They say if you lower the ORP, you can get better results with, like, if you're having algae problems and things like that. So that's one of the reasons I got the controller. Also, if you switch it, now you see it says 5.41. That's the pH right now. So I rely on the pH a lot because I kind of know where my CO2 levels are at. When I look at that, I can say, okay, I'm getting enough CO2 in the tank. It's pretty consistent, so that's pretty cool. And let's see, let's back up here. So those are really the main, I guess, functions of the controller. So just a couple probes inside the tank, and that's that. Otherwise, I just got a power strip back there to access some of the things that I need to unplug when I go to do a water change. And yeah, so that's basically it with this stuff, guys. Other than that, I'm going to take us off the stand here. This is just a cabinet full of stuff that, is basically a junk drawer of fish odds and ends stuff. So I just like this because it's plastic, so if I put these tools down and it's wet, it's not going to hurt anything. So it's not like a wood table or anything like that. So those little drawer things are kind of handy. And so here's a look at the tank real quick. Let's see, let's move on to, well, obviously my lights. These are the Kessel A360WEs, the Tuna Sun model. I'll let you check out the tag here. So These are kind of necessary for this tank because it's a deep tank. It's 2 feet deep, so 24-inch. And that brings me to this. I also forgot to show you guys my tank controller, which was kind of hanging out here. This is the Kessel tank controller. Let's slide this stuff over here. So that just kind of controls my lights on whatever settings I want, that type of thing. But they're only on 50% right now, so oh, I'm sorry, they're 60% right now, so they're really not on too bright right now. These things get wicked bright, and it would be too bright if I went, 70. Actually, they hit 65%, so they almost hit 70%, but anything over that is just crazy for this. It'd just be way too intense for the plants. So, other pieces of equipment I use are a CO2 indicator. You just put the dye in, and CO2 is going to change that. And you're looking for almost a yellow, or a yellow is pretty safe. You don't want to go much beyond that. Just barely turns yellow, and you're good. Yeah, that's it with that. Going under the tank, I bought these little touch lights, which make things really handy for doing stuff under here. They're just little shop lights that I got. They just stick up, and you touch the lens and they turn on. So not much under here, guys, not much to see. Just got the 2 Eheim Professionals, and I think they're the Professional 4s. Got a UV sterilizer, my ballast all tied up over here. A nice easy power switch for the filters when I go to do water changes, things like that. A couple battery backups. They give me about 90 minutes running one of my canister filters and a heater. So there's a battery backup with a large battery backup that actually jumps onto it, so it kind of doubles the life. So with one canister, it's rigged up so one canister and my heater will remain on in a power outage. So that's pretty cool, because it's winter time now here, so gotta make sure that it's staying warm enough. Not as bad as having a saltwater tank. But that's pretty much it with that, guys. And then we go over to the CO2 bottle. This tank lasts me about 6 months. 5 to 6 months, somewhere in there. It's not quite 6 months because I remember writing down the date on my last tank. So, and they're all going to vary anyway. So we just got a nice steady bubble there. I use gelatin, like vegetable gelatin stuff in there. Kind of like, just doesn't evaporate. You don't have to keep filling it up. Some of it does bubble up into the line though and disappear, so it's either going into the tank most likely or whatever, but it doesn't seem to be affecting anything. And probably add a little bit more so I can see my bubble count a little bit better. My angel, one of my angels, hanging out. Hey, somebody just came in. Well, whoever just came in, welcome. Just kind of getting done with the tour. So that's about it, and we're going to see you guys in the next video. Next video is going to be close up of the plants. So I'll give you a preview of that. We're going to look at some plants up close. So stay tuned for that. And also cleaning glass. And here's a perfectly good example. An easy way to clean your glass tops will be another video this weekend. So look out for that. Thanks for watching, guys.